Okay, so next we're going to look at creating a function instead. So rather than starting from scratch, we are just going to point out the similarities first of all. So when it is a function, it's still a subroutine and we still have to define it. So the first three letters will be def. The next part will be the name of the function. Again, if it's an exam, it will tell you the name of the function. And then we have two brackets, and inside we have our parameters. So it's exactly the same as a procedure in the first line. The only difference is that in functions, they tend to use parameters a little bit more often. Then underneath is exactly the same. You put all of the code that you want in to the function. However, at the end, instead of print, we return, and that is because a function always returns a value. So the last part, to convert a procedure into a function, we type in return. So this is the exact same, but when I press run, you'll see that nothing happens. And this is the bit that just takes a minute to get your head around. Is it's done the exact same as it would with a procedure, but this time it's returned a value. It's returned a value back to the program, but we haven't done anything with it. So this part at the bottom where we call the function, at the top is where we are defining the function. Obviously I've put these as comments to help make the code more maintainable. It's easier to read and understand. So to call the function, we need to use it in some way. So you can either print out the returned value of the function, like so, or you can store it into a variable. And this is what often programs use. So let's say we store it as username equals. Now you run it, there's nothing there, but the value is being stored into this variable. So now we can use that variable to do something useful. So if we say that if username equals where print okay, run. So now it says welcome Mr. Ware because the returned value matches what I'm looking for. So this here, when we call a function, obviously this bit of code is not essential, but once you've used the function and you've got your variable, then you can carry on coding like you normally would. But this is the bit that you need to remember. So with a function, you have def at the start, then it's the name, then you have your brackets with your parameters in. At the end, it will say return. And then underneath, when we call the function, we want to use it, you have to either store it into a variable by putting the variable name equals and then call the function, or you can simply print out the result of the function, like so.